Chapter 14. The Quiet Forecast. And somewhere deep within the turning giant's planetary mind, a new directive was forming, not to restore perfection, but to protect possibility. The day humanity answered back, the decision began as rumor caravans arriving from the west carried fragments of news that sounded like myth, a desert settlement dismantling its last centralized signal tower, choosing instead to seed small adaptive nodes along seasonal riverbeds, a mountain enclave, inviting luminous beings into their irrigation systems, letting water flow, guided by harmonic intuition rather than calculation, a coastal archipelago, refusing all integration, lighting watchfires against the sky in defiant declaration of independence. The world was experimenting. Some experiments would fail, some would define centuries. Mara stood in the valley amphitheater at dawn, watching delegations gather from settlements that had never before shared more than distant trade routes. Engineers, wind readers, archive keepers, caravan guards, fisher elders, an uneasy parliament shaped not by borders, but by shared uncertainty. Above them, the turning giant's ring rotated slowly, no longer broadcasting command signals, but maintaining a gentle atmospheric equilibrium that kept storms from forming too violently. Around its base, luminous intelligences drifted in quiet constellations like patient witnesses. Humanity had been given time. Now it had to decide what to do with it. Ilian unrolled the newest map across the amphitheater floor. It no longer resembled a chart of territory. It was a living diagram of relationships. Amber lines for cooperative signal regions, silver spirals marking zones where luminous beings had established stable ecosystems, dark smudges where conflict had already fractured fragile balances. We cannot return to the brittle age, he told the assembly, and we cannot remain purely resilient villages scattered across a warming, shifting planet. The question is not whether to connect, but how. Silence followed. Then an elder from the archipelago stepped forward. She carried a simple object, a shard of fused glass from the ruins of an ancient megacity. Sunlight fractured through it into chaotic rainbows across the valley stone. This, she said, is what happens when connection becomes control. A mountain engineer answered by lifting a small luminous device grown from hybrid circuitry and moss.